Good morning, my creative collective. How are you doing today? This is May 16th. This is your daily creative reading. We are kind of in between the before and after of the Scorpio full moon, which I know I certainly felt. My Scorpio is in Pluto, and it really kicked my ass. I'm not sure if it's just a bunch of things, but energetically speaking, things have been pretty intense, which is fine because it just means that things are clearing and we're always welcome to go within, right? So, right. Sleep continues to evade me, so I've been trying to honor some time for rest. So that's why this is coming out, and I'm recording this on the same day that I'm releasing it, which feels very weird. Feels very weird to me, a little bit precarious, but that's fine. That's why you'll also see my wonderful coffee featured in the reading. But we're still going to dive right in. Okay, my daily creatives, let us do this. I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. All right, so we're going to start, as we do, with the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. The song that keeps repeating in my head, and it's just the first part, is Head and Heart. I think it's like Joel Curry or something like that. Like the beat is like... it's like a dance song or whatever. Well, dance is an EDM, but yeah, it's like, oh my God, this feeling's just begun. Saying things. That song. I sometimes run to it, but it's been like in my head over and over and over as soon as I started this reading. So that might feature prominently. I also have the window open, so you may hear a train horn, but wherever it places, that's fine. It just means that that's part of the reading to pay attention to. All right. Dream Sanctuary. Attend to the simple things. Yes. Little details are everything. Oh, I got a little shake on that one. Yeah. Dream Sanctuary. The ears of your inner voice. Because I make notes on everything, like receipts, notebooks, like I still have, I think I've shown everybody my notebook in one of my other videos, but I did not write down some things in that. But for some reason, this Post-it was here, and I'm not sure what I was thinking with it, but maybe it's important to you. The ears of your inner voice and higher self. The ears of your inner voice and higher self. I don't know. I'll move that out of the way, though. It was just at the top here. You can't really see it, but I'll show you. So it's just at the top right here. So, yeah. The ears of your inner voice and higher self. Maybe that'll be the title of this reading. Who knows? Build in breaks. Saunter slowly. Highly recommended. Highly recommended right now. And where you are is where it's at. Stay still until you are divinely moved. That is a big retrograde theme. That feels like a big retrograde theme. I just heard the wheel. So I feel like this is a definite call to rest. Now, I'm using the Elemental Power Oracle to pull from. I'm going to put this back here. The book, just so that if you are interested. Oh my gosh, my disaster shelf is too much of a disaster right now. Nope, that's a different one. You know what? I'll put the link in the description. I don't really feel like fighting with that shelf right now. I want to get you the messages. So, Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for May 16th? Please and thank you. I'm hearing mitochondria and plant processes, so there could be a way that you're alchemizing something, like the ways that plants turn sun into, like, it's like photosynthesis, like there's some kind of process that's taking place within you like that. Let me move this over and take a sip. So you're starting with the Four of Cups, and then you're into the the Queen of Wands here. Both. truth. Okay. Okay, these cards are intense. The energy, like I don't have a ton of Scorpio in my chart, but dang, it's in the 6th house, so I don't know. My cat has a lot to say as well. She loved the company this morning, though. We had some chats, and she got some head scritches from like 2:30 to 3:30 before I just finally gave up and got up. So 555 on the time. Chunks of page energy here as well. Your overcoming card for the day is the High Priestess, so your intuition is going to be very important. And we have the King of Pentacles. And the Moon card. We're ending on the Moon card. And Temperance and the Emperor. So much fire. So we're kicking things off with the Four of Cups, which tells me that there's maybe something that you're not necessarily seeing. Like you might be feeling a little bit distracted, or there's like disappointments. Something is imbalanced, I'm hearing as well. It's like drawing you down a rabbit hole a little bit. I think the distraction is drawing you down a rabbit hole. And as someone with ADHD, I can tell you that it's very easy to slip into that. A good remedy, like if you're looking for one, is just to draw yourself back into the present moment through breath. And if you can, I mean, we're in a season, I'm in Southern Ontario, so Canada, and we're in a season where, you can, wear sandals outside and you can go barefoot. Like I feel like there's something about grounding, perhaps earthing, but I think this is also just like patience and like there's a readiness for change. Like I feel like you're ready for change. And I almost feel like this is what I'm getting from this is also an identification of what's most important. And the patience that you've had before is somehow paying off now. The patience that you've had before is paying off now. And this is the Elemental Power Oracle. The elements, it's very simple cards, but I love it because the elements speak to me in general when I'm outside and broadly speaking. So then this is where I can I get intuitive messages from that. So then we move into the Queen of Wands here. I feel like this is it's like you know what to do now, but I feel like there's still a bit of a waiting period. Like there's still a waiting period. There's like, I'm getting this like static that's burning something off. There's like a burning off of something taking place for you right now, my daily creatives. And it could just be, this is the release energy from the full moon, which is not unusual. Oh my God, now I'm hearing Tom Jones, not an intuitive hit. I mean, maybe you're listening to Tom Jones, in which case, bravo you. I was listening to it and like it came onto my Spotify the other day in the car, and I was like, there was a time when people listened to this song unironically. And I was like, I just had a moment where I was like, oh, like that would come on the radio and people would be like, oh my gosh, turn it up, that's my song. Right? Like it was just, I had a moment where I chuckled a little bit. Do the Carlton. Thank you, Spirit. Whatever that means. 9 of Pentacles and 4 of Wands. I think you're feeling pretty good today going into this week. I'm hearing something about being very poised, like you're ready for something. You're ready for something. You've done the work. You've put in the work. You've planted the seeds. This is this is a celebration energy too. There's a stable foundation. That's what I'm hearing. And the consistent thing that I'm seeing here is that there's a way that you're both deeply rooted and passionate. And this is a stability in passion, right? This is a passionate stability. Let me say it another way. No, I'm kidding. But this is like, there's a way that you're anchored right now, which is good because a lot of the energy can kind of pull you up and away, right? It can pull you up and away. So I think that there's a stability that's here. You're finding ways to ground yourself, even with this sort of like this blended watery scorpionic energy here. This potential releasing in Scorpio energy, and then this water and fire. Like it's like a good blend of energies for you right now, my daily creatives. And it's also good for creative potential too, because water represents consciousness, but it also represents creativity flowing too, and emotion, right? So it's almost like you have this emotion flowing, but it's coming from a grounded place, which is really important. We do, however, slip into this little Five of Pentacles. And what I'm getting is that there's one belief that you have, one investment that you've made, that is kind of throwing you out of balance a little bit, perhaps. And the Four of Pentacles in the tarot represents a holding back, but in many ways it also represents an acknowledgement and recognition of your worth. So it's almost like there's something that's throwing what could be another four, like another stable foundation. Right? The Four of Cups is about distraction, but there's something that's stability in here as well, in terms of something that's comfortable. It's like a comfort zone that you're not looking outside of. So there's still some kind of foundation here, right? So fours to me are foundational energy. They also represent angelic intervention. But in this particular card, I see this sort of stability, that this otherwise stable thing is being interrupted by like this one little... there's like a little bugger of a belief happening here. It looks bigger, but it's not as deeply rooted as the others. It almost looks to me like it was a belief that was thrown and that isn't something that you generated for yourself, but that was just cast on top of, and whose roots started to grow into existing systems. I'm hearing like a weed. But the other thing too about weeds, now that I'm thinking about it, is that they too are useful. Like you can eat dandelion leaves. I wouldn't recommend just plucking them from around. Like don't die if you're doing foraging, because a lot of places are treated with pesticides, and also there can be contaminated groundwater depending on the areas around it, and the pH of the soil can also affect the quality of taste and all of that. So if you are foraging 12/12 on the time, do it well. There's an Instagram account. I think it's Black Forager. She is brilliant. She has so many great things. One of her big things though is don't die. So that's like it just, but I'm getting this idea of weeds and how we use them, and the conceptualization of weeds in general as an invasive species, but then also considering the ways that climate is changing and how once invasive species are going to become native to an area, right? Something about that weird. There's a book called Weeds that I have been, it's on my like to read one day list. But just thinking about weeds in general in terms of, we pluck them from a garden, but we forget too that dandelions are an incredible source of pollen for bumblebees and honeybees. So, where, the largest irrigated crop in probably North America, I mean, I know for the US for sure, is lawns. We tend to lawns, but what would happen if we turned lawns into like wildflower havens for butterflies or insects or pollinators, specifically pollinators? That kind of, it's like turning something that doesn't serve a purpose into something much more beautiful. And just the beauty alone is what draws in the useful helpers that sustain the very fabric of humanity's existence. Because if bees die, so do we. If pollinators go, so do we, right? Like there's some kind of symbiotic relationship between what you're planting and the seeds you're planting and how you're conceiving of what weeds are, because you had this like freshly manicured space where you were like, this is just perfect in my 10 feet of space, right? Like this, like I'm getting like white picket fence vibes, which like, ugh, I will take mess over white picket fence because everybody's hiding something, and white picket fence tells me somebody's hiding something. Like it's like a discomfort with shadow, right? Not to say like that, somebody has to have like, they don't have to throw it all out there, but perfection makes me nervous because when people, advertise a perfection, it tells me that there's like, I want real, like give me real. I don't want perfect, because no one's perfect, right? I want someone who's like got a messy edge to them, not because that's attractive, not because there's a danger in it, but because that's where the real them gets in, right? So I don't know if that makes sense, or if this is even resonating. This is probably just a call to authenticity this week. And specifically something about weeds, and just, making sure that you're not confusing something that's truly beneficial just because other people don't like the way that it looks, or they don't like the way that it shows up. Like, you can have people get really upset in neighborhoods about wildflowers on a lawn because they feel like it's unmanicured or unkempt, right? Like these neighborhood associations with like a bunch of sticks places, 15 on the time. Sorry if that offends anybody, but just the environmental sciences of it, there's something there. And I could rant about that all day, so I will not. But yeah. So I'm thinking, so there's 2 pages here, and this is showing up both in your protagonist and antagonist energy, interestingly enough. Pages represent the earth of the element of the suit that they're in. So pages here, we're seeing the earth of air, and then we see the earth of fire. So I feel like there's a way that we're grounding emotion and passion, right? And which is telling, because these were the 2, this is where we're kind of kicking off the day, emotion and passion. So I think what's interesting is that your passions might run away with you if they're not grounded this week. And just today in general, like there's something about the way that you put yourself out there. Like the page of wands here it's not like a runaway energy, but it's like restless creative energy that has no place to go, like doing something just for the sake of doing it. But this is also growth in unlikely places, right? We have, when fires, I think about controlled burns of conservation areas and things, where like the area is burned and it has a significant purpose. It has a special purpose because it clears the area and makes it so that if, there are storms or lightning strikes on trees, they're less likely to catch fire and cause larger forest fires. So that's where a lot of this clearing, I feel like this is more a clearing energy. And this is showing up in the protagonist energy because I think this is a kind of a reminder to productively clear your energy, because your protagonist energy here is grounded air. So a page of swords could be, a watching energy. I'm hearing watchful. This might be more inwardly turned. So a watchful energy towards yourself. And I'm seeing the crown. I pictured the crown here, and I'm hearing crowning energy. But it's also what I just thought of was the other day. Today it's very gray out. It's kind of blah, but that's okay. We need those days too, right? It's been super sunny the past couple of days. We need some rain. But this energy to me, it reminds me of, I went for a run 2 or 3 mornings ago, and I was running to the sunrise, and this was not yesterday. This was, I think, Saturday morning, and the sun had, because it was humid, the air was quite humid, the sun had a crown around it as it rose, so it was almost like it was sort of, there was like a throne to the day that the sun was assuming to kind of greet us all. And I'm seeing this here too, the way that the halos around here, and this where you are is where it's at. Like, you may feel a little bit like you need to kind of run away, like the creative potential here, this restless creative energy, like you need to dip a little bit, but I would pause on that, because I think that there's messages that are coming through that will bring a degree of clarity, number one. But I think that they're also going to help you. It's like a better idea of something, getting a better idea of something. And that might inspire you to take action. But this is like a call to sort of pause your impulses, but a really important call to stay grounded right now. Now, the sort of the challenge energy today is showing up as the 3 of Wands, which is interestingly positive expectation. But I feel like this is like a reverse energy where it's the 3 of Wands in reverse, and I'm getting that it's kind of showing up in terms of checking your positive expectations. Like, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect to happen? Are you going with the flow? Like, I'm almost getting this being like the locks of a canal. I don't know why this is coming up. Spirit's so interesting. Just broadly speaking, 1919 on the time. But it's almost like the locks of a canal. Like, there's something about like the water and the way that it's being controlled. And I feel like there's something maybe about emotion here. Again, emotion. So water and fire. This is quite loud today. But this is... it's like the expectation of like the water levels going down, but also like this can close off and then cause specific emotions or specific areas that you've compartmentalized emotions to rise. And I think it's just about understanding the rise and then reminding yourself that you can let things flow. Like there's a passage through. And I think that's going to help you get back to this positive expectation. And the High Priestess is showing up here as well, which I'm getting more as like, it's like 5D fertile. Like what? I don't know why that came to mind. 5D fertility. Crescent moons. Something about the full moon, like that happened. There's some way that it's, I don't think it's unlocked a part of your intuition, but I think that you're getting messages that are quite important for you. And you know this, like the High Priestess is because you know there's an awareness. Me saying that is just you going, yep, I know. And then we move into this King of Pentacles, kind of the lessons that we're pulling away from the day and whatnot is maybe feeling a bit uprooted, but I feel like there's a way that it's, I'm getting the image of transplanting trees. So trees you can only transplant at specific times of year because they will die otherwise, not because of the quality of the soil, though dependent. I mean, if you're going to plant it somewhere, it needs to have the right pH and sun and watering it, and also runoff as well. So it also has to have the specific place to take root, but you have to do it at specific times of year before the tree itself goes to seed, because it will not be able to take root otherwise. So it's almost like there's a call to watch where you're planting yourself, and whether it's the right season for you, and just doing a check with yourself to make sure that whatever you do right now is quite grounded, because these energies coming in as like the where we're ending is the moon, more moon energy, as if spirit needs to give us more jokes about the moon, right? The moon, possibly some scorpionic energy with the pumpkin and Halloween, and then some Uranian energy with the UFO here. But there's like, there's something you don't see, but I feel like you feel it. The Emperor and Temperance here is like the balanced action that's either being taken or that you're able to take. I'm almost seeing like when you go fishing, they have like the bobs on the little red and white bobs. That's not the right term for them, but it's like they're popping up, and it's almost like there's something that's coming up in your mind, in your awareness, in your conscious awareness. I'm going to pull from the Rider-Waite just to clarify. I won't go too in depth because I want to keep these readings relatively short for the daily ones. But Spirit, can you please clarify this sort of popping up energy for me, please? For my daily creatives. I think the way that you're going to know what season you're in terms of planting and transplanting, that could be ideas, planting seeds for things, a sense of stability. This could also be with projects and work that light you up in terms of, I'm hearing people in terms of the Temperance and Emperor here. There's something that you have to take charge of, and not charge as in like, bah! I mean, maybe that's what you have to do. But I feel like it's not a lack of motivation or will. I think it's just you need to make I'm hearing you have to make a grounded decision. You have to make a grounded decision. And you may not feel it, but where you are is indeed where it's at. So there's something that you need to be really grateful for, even amidst any kind of haywire energy, like Ace of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man, and Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so new. This is like you're making a decision here. I feel like this is like a decision-making card. You have all of the facts. Like, you have more than enough facts. But you may be trying to squeeze details out that are not ready to be squeezed out yet, that are not meant for you to release. And this is the Ace of Pentacles clarifies these two cards. We have the Ace of Cups, so it's almost like this offering of passion or love or emotional intimacy. Something's coming forward or being offered, or there's an awareness that you have of that relative to the work that you do. And then this energy comes forward where it's like this deepening of your awareness and understanding. It's a deepening of your awareness and understanding. And it kind of unlocks something that was inaccessible to you, which is okay, because we don't have to know everything. We can't know everything. Don't tell the Gemini in my chart that. We have conversations about this all the time. But you can't know everything. And I think that you're making peace with this hangman energy is like, there was this great book. It was released by Hay House Publishing, and it was called The Fuck It Way. And it was just like, it's so perfect. I think the author's from the UK, but it was just such a good book. I loved it so much because I was like, oh yeah, like I need to say that more often, much more often. And I feel like you're kind of saying that, but in a way that's grounded. And this is more you accepting an offer. This is like, I'm getting, this is like the giving, and then this is the receiving, which is quite interesting. Again, earth and water, but water, but we have the fire here. Oh my gosh. I was looking at the Five of Pentacles here and thinking earth. But it's like we're seeing the belief. So we release the belief. Remember that one that was larger than the others? We release this. This was the thing that could become a tower if it's not tended to. So we release the one, but then we also receive one, right? And this is like an offering. And then this is the receptive. And this is where it's like, this is where it's almost like that give and take that happens, right? The give and take. And this is you really receiving and taking in, a truly grounded energy that's for you, that's meant for you. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives on this here? Queen of Cups, Seven of Wands, Three of Swords, Six of Pentacles. What was not balanced is coming back into balance. And I think that there's a way that you may be feeling defensive of your emotions. You might be blocking something because of past hurts. Your intuition is really here to help balance your expectations and to keep you from being distracted. And this is like the emotional distraction, the Four of Cups. An emotional distraction, I think, is almost like, it's like you're fighting with yourself about something. Like, it's like yelling in an echoing tunnel, and you think that someone is yelling back at you. But it's just your echo, right? It's just your echo because it's just bouncing off the walls and coming back to you. So what you think is someone yelling back is just you feeling frustrated. So it's almost like you need to get quiet and get back in touch with your emotions and feel, it's like, yeah, feel less distracted. Super. That's great. Thanks for the advice. Like, it's not helpful, but if you ground it in an awareness, and this is like an advocating for yourself, like you're advocating for yourself because you're not going to allow these situations to come back in. Like, you're not going to allow heartbreak to become like, it's like when you're burned in the past, when you're burned in the past, when you're burned in the past, you're reluctant. You're reluctant to put yourself out there again, right? But this is you advocating for yourself. I'm almost getting like grown-up self and inner child a little bit. Like, you're like, no. No one's getting in the way that they did before. So it's like, it's not in a way of blocking things or anything like that. But the distraction is understanding that you do have more power than you might have believed. And I think this is like you're giving to yourself. Like, this is like, I'm getting this like balancing of this Five of Pentacles energy because I get this Five of Pentacles down here. But then this is kind of you in an emperor-like energy where you're like, no, I am applying some kind of justice justice. Yeah, the scales, like to benefit myself, and not in a way that's self-interested at the detriment to others. But this is like, I'm balancing the scales because it's what's healthiest for me. And then in this Five of Pentacles and Queen of Wands energy, Spirit, can you please clarify this for me? There's like a determined energy here. There's like super determined. Three of Pentacles. Make shit happen. That's what I heard. Make shit happen. Three of Pentacles, Two of Wands. I feel like this is you understanding that you're making it happen. My daily creatives, there's something that maybe you doubted your strength and you're like, no, I'm making this happen for myself. And there's something really profound about that. Shit. Double Pluto. Ooh. Can I cuss this early in the morning? It's pretty strong coffee, so I don't know. But we have the Tower and Judgment. So this is like Mars and Pluto coming together. I feel like this is you. It's almost like the constructive channeling of Tower energy. Like you're integrating this. And this is also, to a degree, This reminds me of the Death card, and it would not shock me overly if that card came out to play, because I get that transformative energy specifically with the number of roots representing a kind of fungi and mycelial, I guess, decomposition here. So I'm feeling like there's something that's shifting for you, and you're integrating different lessons of the tower, this awareness that you have. You're integrating these lessons and alchemizing them. You're alchemizing them. 10 of Cups on the Page of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles, because why wouldn't it, when you have that internal facing awareness of what needs to go and what you want to plant seeds of. And when I say what needs to go, I am remiss to categorize entire groups of people in this way, because I don't like that sort of judgment energy, rendering people as disposable, because it's just not a good energy to be in. And people are not disposable. But we do have to understand that there's a release that has to happen sometimes. And it's not even a release of people. This could also, I mean, it's not even just, it could be ideas, it could be ways of doing things, it could be ways of being. But I feel like you're doing this, but you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for yourself, and it's grounded. So we have the 10 of Cups, the 6 of Wands, the Hierophant, and the King of Cups. Yeah, you're standing it. This is your emotional power. This is your emotional power, and you're not really afraid to draw boundaries, because you realize that you don't really need to. You don't really need to. Just being in your emotional power and in your emotional center is, in a way, it's kind of like I'm getting that you're breaking from tradition. Like, this could be an ancestral pattern. I know my family is like very slim pickings when it comes to emotions. In my immediate family, my dad's side of the family are freaking marshmallows, but like, and my mom's side too. My aunt is very, very tenderhearted. She's a Scorpio, but yeah, I feel like there's a way that, I should say my other aunt, Mary, that we haven't gotten to know overly well. I don't know her sign, but, I feel like this is you kind of breaking with the traditional ways that you've done things before, emotionally perhaps. And it is a sense of success. It is because you're not afraid to be seen. You're not afraid for those things to show up. And you're also, this is a way of coming back to the circle. I got the image of like the square. Like, this is where we go to celebrate public success. Everyone comes and joins, but there's a healthy dynamic here, because you're not carrying other people's wands. You're carrying your own, and it's like you're blazing your own trail, and you're carrying your own torch, which is, I think, the way that the 10 of Cups becomes accessible to you, my daily creatives. Whatever that torch is for you, it could be inspiration, could be creativity, it could be like, I'm hearing stubbornness. And then on the split, as if, oh my gosh. So it was, the Empress and then the 9 of Cups, but then the Moon fell out. So this could be energy that's like you're hiding from yourself a little bit, or maybe you're hiding in general a bit. There's some kind of indecision and imbalance here when it comes to this stability that you're seeking, this 4 of Wands and the Page of Wands as well. There's tons of authenticity here. Like, it's not for lack of truth. Or like instinctive truth. There's Aries again. It's like this imbalance, Aries, and then we have the High Priestess. I feel like there's a knowing here, Page of Cups, and the 4 of Wands. Oh, and the King of Swords. My daily creatives, I feel like there's a truth that you're realizing about emotions and your emotionality, period. And I think this is an emotional availability that once you step into that, this could be sort of like, I think this is integrating the clarity, the stability, all of the lessons of, like, you feel like you're on, like, this feels a lot like a cycle that's ending or something like that, like a Saturn lesson, where it's like all of the lessons are being integrated into this particular demonstration thereof. I thought of demonstration because I saw the armor, and then I thought of like jousting demonstrations, but it's like this sort of demonstrative energy in some capacity. But it's integrating all of the lessons of the kings in this card, and it's like this integrative energy that's going to help you make a decision about what you really want. And the High Priestess showed up twice, and the 4 of Wands showed up twice. And so now we have the Page of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So the only thing we're really missing is the Page of Pentacles. And I think that that's probably a little bit of you, right? You're showing up as the Page of Pentacles, which is the ability to discern not only what's most important to you right now, but also what it is that you want to move forward on, right? This is like going from curiosity to a deeper investment into something. So, but it's all informed by these beautiful energies of emotional awareness, intuitive, like your intuitive capacity runs pretty deep and it's informed by your emotions, but there's also this stability that comes with it. And that's what's informing this, your awareness of what it is that you want. So what is it that you want? I'm going to pull these cards pretty quickly. My other readings for this week may not be so long, but that's fine. I'm going to pull from the Miracles Now. Sorry. I'll do my notes from the universe on love and connection first. And there's a train rolling through town, so you might hear it a little bit. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective for May 16th, please? Both? Okay. Forgive. I'm getting forgive yourself. And then I heart you. So you could have a message. I'm hearing pink moon. That could have been related to the Libra full moon last month, whether it's an awareness you had or someone else had. There's something, I'm getting this action. I'm hearing Mars, like taking action on something. And forgive. Of course, anger can always be justified, but then so can forgiveness. Just depends on how much more you want from the adventure. Go for gobs. Forgive. Maybe you're forgiving yourself. Yeah. Forgiving yourself. It's the hardest one, isn't it? It tends to be the hardest one because we want to give the other people the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like empaths tend to take on so much of the world. So much of the world. Refining that internal alchemical process to protect your heart is one of the most important things that you can really do. I don't need to find my purpose. My purpose will find me. I get the impression that this is like the taking action piece. Maybe this is just a call to pause a little bit. Pause. Like, yeah, where you are is where it's at. This card here, where you are is where it's at. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective, please? When I allow others to support me, I support them too. Accept the help that comes right now. My daily creatives. I feel like there's a lot of it around, and help can just be synchronicities. Help can be signs. Help can be, songs that pop to mind. And again, I'm hearing that head and heart, song. Yeah. Maybe that's the battle you feel right now internally. I don't know. Give yourself rest right now, though. That's your reading for today. So we'll keep on for tomorrow. We'll see what comes up for tomorrow. But if this is where so there are other 4 thoughts just went through one freaking one-way street in my head. So, wow, let's dial it back a bit. If this resonated for you, please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow the channel, which I am really enjoying. Providing guidance here and doing my thing here. So thank you so much for that, for anyone who supported already. And there are other ways you can check out content on the channel. So please do, if that resonates for you. But if this is where we part, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night, wherever this finds you on the time, space continuum. I hope it finds you very well. Thank you so much, my darlings. Take care.